Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Shangri-La Frontier, episode 17. Right, 17. Let me double check that. Yes, 17. In which we will continue the fight with Weathermon, and perhaps the fight will even conclude. We will see about that, I guess. In the previous episode, the fight with Weathermon started. And that's basically the summary of the previous episode. Yeah, we managed to get through 2 phases of Weathermon, and they are indeed timed. A couple of resurrection items were already used, but Sanraku and what's his face? Kei Uomi. I can never remember his in-game name. They have figured out more or less Weathermon's mount. That's who Kei is dealing with. And Towa pulled out a scale, or scales rather, that allow her to exchange items for buffs to herself and her allies. So she gave Sanraku and Kei a bunch of buffs to their stat points so that they can manage the fight better. Yeah, we've entered the 3rd phase of the Weathermon fight, and what's gonna happen, anybody's guess. I mean, my guess is that what's gonna happen is Sanraku's progress through the Rabituza quest will have some sort of an impact on how the fight with Weathermon goes. Either maybe the pendant will allow him to deal with the whole situation more amicably, or maybe his, I don't know, he's gonna throw around the name Visage and Weathermon is gonna recognize it, or something like that is gonna happen. That will make this fight a little bit different and a little bit more than just, regular defeating the boss. It would also explain, I guess, why nobody has defeated the Weathermon, because it really seems like nobody else went through the Rabituza arc yet. Through the Rabituza quest, so nobody else would have Emul's pendant, nobody else would have connections with Visage, nobody else would have Rabituza weapons, right? Nobody else would have Vorpal Spirit, Vorpal Soul. So, right, explains a lot, in my mind at least. What's exactly gonna happen again? I have no clue. I've actually no idea what's gonna happen. Any number of things, really. We shall see, I guess. I think that's a little bit too bright. Yeah, I think this is good. I think that's good. So, I guess very short intro, but how about we do the more interesting part of the video and we jump right into it. To do it, you will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 17 of Shangri-La Frontier in 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, we're opening with Danger Danger. There's that pendant in the opening that tells you all you need to know about its significance. It's gonna be relevant somehow. Sorry, I'm not saying anything. I'm just vibing with the OP. We are still yet to meet her. And see this... Oh no, it's not a weird ball. It's the resurrection ball, I think. And yeah, the helmet. What's up with that, right? Oh, right, that was the big reveal, that Weathermon isn't really a cyborg, but rather an undead. So holy water is very efficient. Okay, so some sort of a different attack. Alright, you can cancel the AoE by throwing some holy water at him. Probably AoE damaging aura around him. He's all fired up. Literally and figuratively. Oh! And his mount is turning into a mecha. Is that what's happening? That's exactly what's happening. Okay, sure. Why not? An apt observation. Yeah, that's also a fair observation. You aggro the mecha, Sanraku aggro's the Weathermon. Cazzo. Or also 10 minutes. Or maybe this time around you can speed it up, actually, by attacking him and making the armor crumble faster. You don't know his patterns in the third form, so hopefully. Like, you know, fingers crossed for you, Sanaraku, but still. Ah, this, like, departure. Right. What's the fun with just dodging, right? Right, and Shangri-La is supposed to be a god game, isn't it? And this is anything but Aksoge. Exactly. Actually makes a surprising amount of sense. Yeah, you can crumble his armor. Okay, so that's the helmet. Okay, sure. Where'd you get it from, Sanraku? Oh, Moonblades. Okay, Queen Bee helmet. It's weird seeing his face. Amazing art on Weathermon. I just thought I'm gonna mention that. Ha! Helmet Perry. Your hands are free to do damage. Exactly. Essentially gives you a third weapon. Yeah. Oh, right, combine the skills, right? Okay. That's a cool attack. You can launch projectiles from behind. Drill that will pierce the heavens. And he's laughing. Did I hear it correctly? Was that a laugh? He's having fun. I mean, that's all that matters, really. No, not really. Yeah. Yeah, you need to allow Sanaraku to 1v1 Weathermon. Because he's like the perfect duelist, but he doesn't really have much in terms of like AoE combat. So just kite it around. Yeah, of course Katsu would also want to have some fun. And another resurrection item. Half res this time. Okay. Another great track. Okay. Because the fight is getting hard only now. Oh, what's the penalty? Like, you get a massive debuff after the timer runs out or something? Oh, great reverb sound. Oh, that's the penalty? Oh, it inverts your colors. Okay, interesting. It also inverts your controls or something? Ah. So 15 minutes means 60 levels. And seeing how he's 50, yeah, it's gonna be like level 0. Back to the cave you go. Right, sorry, miscalculated. 30, not 60. Right. Thankfully, you haven't leveled up your taste buds, so, you know. Sure. Thank you for the explanation. I guess kind of works like Sanraku creating the weak spot. Something like that, yeah. The old Skyrim Guard special, huh? And it's actually cracking. So you can damage it. And another res item. No, okay, she survived. Lost an arm, though. Huh. Body part damage? Interesting. Interesting as far as mechanics go. With a crowbar, perhaps. I wonder if it has a pilot seat and is only operating on auto, because it can combine with Weathermon, meaning Weathermon can somehow enter it and pilot it. I wonder if you can take control of it. I love Sanraku. Right. And I'd imagine the level gap is quite high. Weathermon is like, what, 100? Something like that, probably? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a cool shot. Mm-hmm. Of course. Of course he's playing the Excel spreadsheet game. The pendant again. Weatherman recognizes it. No. Weathermon noticed the necklace. Mm-hmm. Now, what is it going to change? Wherever was Alice mentioned, though? Hmm. The Shangri-La Frontier, one could even say. Child of the second plan, huh? Another phase, yeah, fourth phase. And it hasn't been 10 minutes, I don't think. He is changing things up, yes. Yeah. Less delay between casts. Mm-hmm. And the hand is still here as well. And another new ability. Nice kick parry. Right, it's like in kendo, right? A head, torso, legs, something like that, right? No, that feels like a challenge, Sanaraku. Parry that, you filthy casual. Another AoE attack. Yeah, no openings anymore. First person. Okay, that's cool. That's dope. Some first person gameplay. Sanaraku's having so much fun. Parried? Can you even parry that? Of course you can! Oh no, it's not the sword that broke. It's the helmet. Shit. I thought it was Weathermon's blade. How's your HP? Not particularly well, I see. Oh, the sash got destroyed? So does your armor also have whatchamacallit? Fuck, endurance? No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Of fucking course. How did I not know that this episode is gonna last a whole 5 minutes? Oh boy. And here I thought we're gonna wrap up this fight in this episode, huh? Silly me. Seems like we're gonna get Shaflamini. Interesting that Weathermon would mention Alice and not Setsuna. Who the fuck is Alice? And there's the mini. Oh, and it's about Rei. As she's passing by Sanraku's place, probably. Yes. It's not like I'm a stalker, baka. Yeah, just a bunch of coincidences. Strange how the world works, isn't it? The more you explain yourself, the more sus it sounds. That's just how it works. With a toast in her mouth? No, I guess she's not going for that trope. I love how in the previous mini and in this one we get the, like, you know, nature's documentary narration. and speaks nothing. Yes. Of course. I mean, she did talk to him in the game, but still, so I say it's progress. Oh boy. Oh, that's the episode. How about, and now we watch it again, shall we? Yes, we shall, of course we shall. Danger, danger. And yeah, here is the helmet. Amazing art on the Weathermon. I am still, highly impressed that they did not use CG for this. Honestly, mad props for that. And they didn't even simplify Weathermon. You can see all those cracks, you can see all those screws or whatever on his helmet, all the imperfections and stuff like that. Mad props for that. Lesser production would have just used a CG model and call it a day. If they wanted things to look a little bit better, they would have given Sanraku CG weapons so that the impact looks properly. I know it might sound counterintuitive, but in general, impact of 2D on 3D or 3D on 2D rarely, if ever, actually looks good. Impacting 3D with 3D or 2D with 2D, cool. So sometimes it actually is better to give the character a CG weapon so that it can impact with a CG enemy properly. And you can mask the character holding that weapon in plethora of ways. You can give them, I don't know, long sleeves and make the entire hand CG, for example. What was the anime that did it? Arifureta for sure had CG weapons, but I don't think Arifureta had CG hands. Or maybe it was Arifureta actually, season 2. I'm not 100% sure, but I've seen this technique used, and it actually looks better than than trying to hit a CG enemy with a 2D sword or whatever. But no, not in this case. Everything is 2D. They really just relegate CG to effects. When they need, I don't know, a sphere of something, they might use CG. When they need a lot of insects in that insect forest, they use CG as well because, well, there was a lot of them. But when it matters, in hype moments like that, honestly, really, mad props. Mad props for not compromising on the quality. Putting feelings into a moment, yeah. Guess he didn't appreciate getting splooshed with the Saint's special water. Transformation. I really did not expect the horse to turn into a mecha. I really did not. And yeah, safe bet that we don't want Weathermon to combine with it, of course. Time passes, 10 minutes more, probably, except not really, or maybe under normal circumstances it would have been 10 minutes more, but because Sanraku has the special pendant, the whole thing just changed completely. And again, very good deduction on Sanraku's part. This is supposed to be a god game. This is supposed to be the best there is. And they would create a boss where you just have to turtle for half an hour? Doesn't fit. Doesn't make much sense. There has to be something more to it. Any lesser MMO, any lesser game, any Ksoge might have actually done that. It might have actually had a boss where you just need to survive for an hour, and that's the only way to defeat it, and that's what makes that game a shit game. This isn't a shit game. There has to be some fun to it. they wouldn't have forgotten about the fun. Especially not when it comes to a big boss like that, a world boss tied to the entire game's story, right? They wouldn't go for the cheapest possible option. Of course they wouldn't. He might just take damage in this form, and lo and behold, he does. Seemingly. Any player who endures those 20 minutes of boredom and evading and dodging gets a reward, and now is able to actually damage Weathermon, now is able to actually fight. This is Shangri-La Frontier. This is a good game, right? Again, the use of like bottom-up shots, they just became a staple of Shangri-La in my mind, and it's always a treat to see one like that. And yeah, a third hand spiked battle helm that you can use to parry attacks. Interesting. Interesting, and very much like Sanaraku, to use everything he can to his advantage. He cannot equip armor, but he can equip a helmet that he can parry with. So he's absolutely gonna do that. If he could wear, I know, boots, he would wear spiky boots that he can deal damage with, or stuff like that. Cool, really cool. Helmet parry. Why parry with a helmet? Because it leaves your hands open, exactly. I landed a critical and he's not even phased. Well, his armor might start cracking a little bit. So I guess it depends on whether this phase lasts for a set amount of time or until his armor completely cracks. Because if the latter, then he's an undead, a robot, he probably is not going to flinch in pain at the damage he receives, so it stands to reason that you just damage him until the armor crumbles. Or it might just be completely time-based, we don't know. Dropped a ton of cash, and yeah. I'm not gonna waste it. Nice smears on his hand. Vorpal Blade Tech, hit from behind to have Weathermon turn around and then deal actual damage to the back. Now granted, he takes his sweet time running in, so Weathermon would probably still be able to, react to it, but, for the sake of adaptation, let's say it makes sense. Drill Piercer, another crit, straight in the back. Yeah, he's having fun. Also, did Weathermon laugh here? Not here, but like earlier. Here, I think it was Weathermon's laugh. I think he also is enjoying this fight a little bit. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just, a random sound effect of Weathermon. That just happens to sound like a laugh. I don't know. Staying alive and drawing Kirin's aggro. Yep. Passing grade, but yeah, Katsu isn't fighting for a passing grade either. He also wants to be the best there ever was. To catch them all is a real test. To tame them is my calls, or however it went. Levels you up to 99, but it drains your levels. Very interesting item. And also inverts your colors, does like fucky wacky stuff to your controls, I'd imagine. Interesting. Yeah, every 30 seconds your level decreases by 1. Flavor text. Interesting topic that we kind of just sidelined. Taste buds levels. Did anybody else bother to level up their taste buds, or is it again only Sanaraku who just did it by complete accident, right? And I wonder if it's actually gonna be relevant eventually. I would imagine that a game like Shangri-La Frontier would make use of every single mechanic they add. They wouldn't have a mechanic just for the sake of it being there. I would imagine that there is some sort of a challenge. I know, maybe you enter a dungeon and on the 17th layer of the dungeon there is 3 doors, and the correct door is the one that has a dumpling with tomato inside. All of them look identically, but only one tastes of tomato, and you need your taste buds evolved, leveled up enough to be able to taste tomato in the dumpling to be able to pick the correct door, or, you know, something like that. I wonder, do I have it noted down that flavors are gonna be relevant sometime in the future? Where is Shangri-La? Magia Record, Ancient Magus Bride, Shield Hero, Shy, Shangri-La, and we are slowly running out of space here. Flavor and taste buds level is relevant somehow. Maybe within the confines of this adaptation, maybe in the longer term, somewhere in the source material, maybe it became relevant. I know, but it is or will be relevant sometime. We'll see. And yeah, now Katsu is also motivated to punch the Kirin into oblivion. Interesting mechanic. Creating a weak spot and then attacking it. And Sanaraku has this mechanic. And now Katsu has this mechanic. I wonder if it's like a, you know, wider mechanic in Shangri-La as a whole. That every class, or most classes maybe, have some way of creating weak spots. And maybe they have different effects. Maybe Sanraku's weak spots create actual weak spots, right? Pierce the armor so you can deal a lot of damage and enable crits. Katsu's weak spots create a place that if you hit it with a stun ability, it has a guaranteed stun. Maybe archers can create weak spots that allow them to, I know, bypass poison resistance of the enemy, right? Stuff like that. I wonder if it's a more widespread mechanic, because it would be so cool. Also, it really seems like this Kirin has a seat for a pilot, right? Like, those two things go around the pilot's chest. This is like cushioned back. Legs go somewhere in here, right? I think I'm saying it correctly. I'm not sure though. I fully expected Towa to perish here, but no, thankfully. How the heck do we go about prying it open? You would need Sanraku's weak spots here, for example. But Sanraku is kinda tied up in battle, so it's not gonna happen. Alas. Moonblades, yeah. One Moonblade, if I recall correctly, depletes Sanraku's health, and the other replenishes it. Something along those lines. The Moonblades in general give him the ability to manipulate his health a little easier. And yeah, he has skills that depend on his HP being low enough. Problem is, Weathermon mostly deals one-hit kill abilities, uses one-hit kill abilities, so it's kind of hard to balance out your HP when the enemy hits you for 100% of your HP. Stats boosted in proportion to the level gap, yeah, that's very useful. As I supposed, the perfect passive effect for Sanraku. A couple of buffs, depending on hunger, depending on everything. Of course, he thought of everything. He completely min-maxed his stats as much as he could. And nothing to parry, because only now, curiously, only now Weathermon noticed the pendant. And just as I thought, the pendant was relevant. Who would have thunk, right? Alice ID key. Fragment. So the pendant is a fragment of Alice's ID key. Whoever Alice is, whatever ID key is. Alice is still known, someone who was lost to the history, probably alive during Weathermon and Setsuna's times, but the era has changed, there is a new civilization, etc., etc. For Endless Eternity. I've lain here rotting, yeah. I did not see their fate. Right, so he went into this place after Setsuna's death, and so he didn't see the fall of his civilization. He doesn't even know what happened to it. I would assume he doesn't even know what happened to Alice. That's, I guess, what I'm able to piece from it. The frontier has been established. We have... I mean, we already had the title drop, right? Shangri-La Frontier is the name of the fucking game. But we have the title drop of the game, I guess. We have an explanation why it's called Shangri-La Frontier. What does Shangri-La mean? I know Shangri-La is already like an anime. Shangri-La. Fictional place in Tibet's Kunlun Mountains described in the novel Lost Horizon by James Hilton. And what are the characteristics of it? Mystical harmonious valley, guided by Lamaserim. Enduringly happy land, isolated from the world. People living in Shangri-La are almost immortal, living hundreds of years, and only very slowly aging in appearance. Ancient Tibetan scriptures mention 7 such places. Okay, so a Tibetan fictional place of happiness, Tibetan utopia, essentially. So the frontier of that. I know. I mean, first thing that comes to my mind is there is heaven, that utopia, right? And the frontier is battle to get to that utopia. And we are on the frontier of that fight. Something like that. Something like that. The frontier has been established. Yeah. A lordom during a boss fight. Nothing better. Let's do as battle. Let us do battle. Child of the second plan. What the fuck is the second plan? Not the second plane, which is what I initially thought. Second plane would mean second world, second dimension, whatever, something like that. Not a person from this dimension, but person from the outside dimension, right? The player, on like a meta standpoint, kind of like Log Horizon, for example, right? But no, second plan. So there was one plan on how to get to the Shangri-La. That plan failed, and the second plan was to bring the players into this world. That would be the lore of the game, maybe, I would assume. Let's see. Second plan, bringing players into the world. It would make sense if the game is going for a little bit of a meta narrative, right? That the player themselves is also kind of sort of character in the lore of the game, right? Maybe that, or maybe we are dealing with some sort of... That would actually be a curious idea. Where have I seen it? I cannot remember the name, but there was a series. Can't remember if it was a manga or an anime. In any case, a full dive VR MMO, like in this case, was created by someone who came here from another world as a way of transporting strong people to that other world. So you would enter the game with your, Apple Vision Pro, and you would think it's a game, and you would be able to log out, use your skills, menus, etc., etc., but you would actually appear in that other existing real world, and you would fight their actual demon lord, thinking it's just a game. But in actuality, you would have been transported to that other world. Something like that comes to mind, and I wonder. Fuck it. The world of Shangri-La actually exists. World of Shangri-La actually exists. Game is a gateway. I wonder. And he strips his armor, at least partially. If you intend to infringe upon my vow, then be crushed by my clear sky conquest. It's getting serious, yeah, chaining attacks much faster, much less delay between them, and even gaining some new abilities. And new abilities to chain those abilities. Yeah, head, torso, legs. Is it like men do kote? Something like that? And that was... What did I say it was? Not tanto. What the fuck am I thinking of? Kendo. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Mendo Kote. What is that? Kendo Men Do Kote. Men is one of the 5 strikes, yeah. Long slashing stroke that falls on the center line in the head. Right. And Wikipedia doesn't mention the others. Does it? Oh, yeah. Men, head, kote. Kote bu, padded area on the right wrist. And do, left side of the armor that protects the torso. Okay, so there isn't any like protection of the legs, so I guess Mendo Kote doesn't contain the legs. I know, I'm not sure. But yeah, first thing that came to my mind was Mendo Kote from Kendo. Yeah, you can spam attacks without recast time, indeed. And there are even new attacks. Pyroclastic Worm, that even if you dodge it, it creates a brand new thing that casts 2 attacks simultaneously, more worms, and some ash blizzard. He's having fun though. You can see he's having fun. And that's what matters in a game, isn't it? That's exactly what matters in the game. I'll hang on with pure chutzpah. And I've got a few ideas of my own, yeah. And those ideas will not be realized. Especially not when you are rooted in place. Helmet parry. I fully expected him to actually parry this, that which can cleave even dragons. The clear sky, pierce, hit, strike, or whatever it was. Fully expected it to happen. I really thought that this is Weathermon's blade breaking. No, it's the helmet, and it's the first time we see Sanraku's actual eye in the game. Also, very interesting that his teeth look cracked and all that. This is like a frame that I would have expected from, I know, Kill la Kill, for example, or... I admittedly haven't watched, what is it? The one with the dude that has regeneration abilities and the girl that brings misfortune. That's another thing that comes to my mind. Like heavily stylized to the point where, again, the teeth are cracked, the eye looks completely not like an eye would. Very reminiscent of something that I would actually not find out of place in Kill la Kill. What the heck was that? Yeah, that's a big one-hit kill move. That apparently also... Oh, is that what it is? This move just destroys armor. It's not that the helmet broke because it ran out of... whatchamacallit? Let me find the correct word. Why does it elude me? Why does the word elude me? Let me translate it from Polish real quick. Wytrzymałość. Durability. Yeah, durability. It's not that the helmet ran out of durability, and so it broke, but rather the hit specifically targets armor. So it not only destroyed the helmet because Sanraku blocked with the helmet, it destroyed all of the armor that Sanraku was wearing, including the sash. Interesting. Towa is stopping Katsu from using the resurrection item. Yeah. It's like I told you. It's gonna take more than that to beat me. Is that why Sanraku was in the menus? He threw the resurrection item at himself in preparation? Is that what's going on here? Because I think it is what's going on here. Now he just needs to wait for the rebirth tier jewel to fall down, and he's gonna be back in fight again. Amazing episode, amazing fight. And Shafla Mini is all about, nature's documentary of Rei totally not being a stalker. Just a coincidence, total coincidence. It's by coincidence that I found myself on the same street. It's by coincidence that I found myself in Sanraku-san's garden. It's by complete coincidence that his underwear from the clothes rack fell into my bag. It's a complete coincidence it all happened. I'm in the area every morning completely coincidentally. It's not like I'm planning to meet him around here. No, absolutely not. And yeah, he was with his sister, so the whole plan went bust. Unfortunately. Unfortunately for poor Rei. Oh boy. That was a hype episode. I fully expected this to be the end of the Weathermon fight, but no, we get more. we get the second episode in a row of just pure fight. There wasn't anything more to this episode except fighting. On one hand, it's cool because they aren't like shortening the fight artificially, like sometimes happens with adaptations, right? They take away this bit, they take away that bit, and only leave the meat and potatoes. I mean, shit, this whole fight is meat and potatoes. There isn't anything to take away from here. So what are we even talking about? But yeah, on one hand, it's really cool because we see the whole entire fight, and it's just a feast for the eyes, honestly. And it's just a feast for the hype receptors in my brain. On the other... is there even the other hand? I mean, kinda, sorta. It really felt like this episode was very short. But only because I was having so much fun. And I was so immersed into it that the ending just kind of ripped me out of my flow state. I was there with Sanraku entering inputs, and especially with the first person scene. That was great. That was super cool. But yeah, it really felt very short. But I guess that just speaks to the quality of it. Because sometimes you have a fight in an anime and it's just taking so fucking long. They're taking 10 minutes to cast their spell, and you get flashbacks, and you get explanation for what each ability is, and you get explanations for every character's backstory, right? You get fucking Dragon Ball, where a simple two dudes punch each other in the head takes 15 episodes, right? Where was I going with it? Right, that this fight didn't feel like that. It really didn't feel long, and that speaks to its quality, so good shit. On the other, I hope the next episode is actually the final part of this fight and we get back to the game. Because while I do like this fight, I like this combat really much, I would still like to go to, to the regular Shangri-La happenings. I would still like to see the fallout of the raid on the on Toa's guild. I would still very much like to see them go through all the new things from the update. Maybe Sanraku can go on a date with Rei, finally looking at the new stuff being added. I would like to visit Setsuna again and hear what she has to say about this fight, right? I would still like all of those things. This show got me so invested in all those, like, surrounding elements that I'm like, okay, the main storyline, that's cool and all, but, I would kind of like to see the girl who has a bow and wants to attack everybody at first sight again, right? It's cool. It's super cool that I even have those feelings. That I would very much like to see a Dragonfly again and fight her, Sanraku to fight her in the... what was that game called? Barf? Something like that, right? I would still very much like to see all those things. So, on one hand, yes, I like this fight. Yes, I would like more of it. But on the other, I would also like some of the, other stuff from this huge, big world of Shangri-La to also make an appearance. Kinda, sorta, the same feeling I had with Helk and the flashback arc. Although flashback arc in Helk didn't have quite the hype and the significance, at least not in my eyes, of the fight in Shangri-La. So it was even kind of worse in a sense. In case of Helk, I really wanted to finish this fucking flashback arc and go back to the main story. In this case, I would like to have cake and eat it too. I would like the fight to continue, and I would like to see everything else around it. It's interesting how that happens. It's super cool. I really would like Sanraku to go back to Emul again, you know, triumphant, back to his maiden. Such a good episode. Such a good episode. And we get even more hints at the world building, at the backstory of the world of the game, right? The second plan, the frontier, shit like that. All those keywords still mean basically nothing. But you can see that they are going somewhere with it. It might mean absolutely nothing right now, but in 5 episodes' time, there's gonna be an aha moment. That's what Weathermon was talking about, right? And maybe not 5 episodes, it's probably gonna take much more. It's probably gonna take much more than just the runtime of this season. They are in for the long run. They are in for the long run, absolutely. And I'm all in for it. This show is 25 episodes, so we still have 8 more. That's a lot, but I'm already looking forward to season 2. Please season 2, and please the same studio and the same team. Don't give away this show to like a completely different studio that's just gonna butcher it. Don't do a One Punch Man to it, please. I beg of you. Don't One Punch Man it. It deserves a good and proper adaptation. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm done gushing over this episode. It was great. I really enjoyed myself. Did you guys enjoy yourselves though? Tell me all about it in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please, I beg of you. Spoilers can go to my Discord here, also in the description below. Like this video if you did. Subscribe to be notified of future videos, not just Shangri-La, but also Magia Record, Freeren, Majo Toyaju, Metallic Rouge, plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified of when I go live, because I do sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Magia Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube via memberships, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without the Net, Group Survivor, Zayrener, Dr. Watt, Akamancer, Mosh, Yukala, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without having to fight Weathermon's 4th phase.